That's crazy.
That came out of
Dame,
nowhere.
Damon, man, that was gangster.
Hi, watchers. We're watching whatever. I'm Nathan, and joining me here is Danny. Today, we're doing House of the Dragon, episode 8. We're continuing on with this a couple more episodes until the end of the first season. So, like I said last time, I really enjoyed episode 7. So I'm very curious as to what's going to happen now in episode 8. Um, I really, I don't like Kristen and I don't like Rhaenyra. Right? Those are the two characters I actually don't like in this show, and I really like Larens or something, whatever his name
Laris?
is, Laris.
Laris.
Yeah, I like the character. I don't like what he does, but I like the character.
Uh-huh.
And Damon, I still like his character too. So I do like characters from the two opposite sides. So I'm not favoring one house over the other. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but I'm very curious. Anything you want to add before we start?
Um, the last episode is when Aemond got his dragon. Is that episode?
Yeah, Aemon got his dragon. Damon
Uh-huh.
and Rhaenyra looks like they secretly got married
Oh, right.
or just
Yeah, yeah.
privately got married.
Uh-huh.
And uh and what's his name? Her former husband, her ex-husband,
Oh,
Lar-
Laenor.
Laenor, right?
Uh-huh.
They faked his death and he
Oh,
ends up
okay.
escaping with starts with a Q, I can't remember. Carl.
Right, right.
So so that's what happened in the last episode,
Okay. Yeah, that
right?
was a good one.
Uh,
A lot
yeah,
of stuff happened.
it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed that
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Frustrated the hell out of me, but I enjoyed it. So,
Right.
so before we start, we'd like to remind everyone on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. It really helps us out with the algorithm. Subscribing doesn't cost anything, but it will help us out in the for the foreseeable future. And if you want to check us out on Patreon and help us out on there, you can go on that and go to patreon.com/watching whatever. You can watch our full-length reaction and commentary of the show along with your copy of it, which is available on HBO Max. And for our Patreon viewers, we thank you very much for being here with us. We appreciate everyone who can help support us and help us to continue with what we really enjoy doing here. So with that said, we're going to start the show.
Aegon foresaw the end of the world of men. 'Tis to begin with a terrible
And if
winter.
you see my video flickering and glitching here, I'm trying to figure out how to fix this issue. I bought a new camera, everything, but I'm still having this issue. So please bear with it until I figure out a solution for it.
They will fear what else we might be capable of.
I see that you have the determination to win it.
I am very curious now. So it took 7 episodes for me to really be committed to the show.
uh,
Episode 7 really did it for me.
yeah, that's a good one. I think it's my favorite episode of the whole show.
So far, it's my favorite.
Um, I think one of the things that they did a really good job of in Game of Thrones and in the books is kind of giving us this mix of like the kids and the adults, like seeing multiple perspectives. That made it fun,
Mm-hmm.
And I think in that episode we really got a chance to kind of see what the kids are like and see like all the drama that's going on with the adults,
Yeah, I mean like that was some crazy stuff with the kids.
Yeah.
Those are some
Yeah.
ruthless kids.
Right.
It's been near 6 years since I last saw my lord husband, Maester. I must know. Will he live?
He led his sailors into an ambush. The wound was severe. Much blood was lost.
6 years?
Yeah.
So we have another jump? So the kids are going to be grown up. Well, at least they're being consistent.
Right.
Let all be made ready to receive him, Maester Calvin.
So that's obviously one of her granddaughters.
And yet I have seen blood fever.
overcome men half his age. And who will take the Driftwood throne? I am the sea snake's own blood. But what of the Velaryon line? Is it to be snuffed out?
My cousin the king would have your tongue for this.
But it's not a king who sits the Iron Throne these days, good sister.
So is he on his like deathbed now? So much dirty infighting, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, if you were him though, man, would you want it to pass to like someone who's not even really a Valerian?
No, I totally understand him.
Yeah.
I'm just stating that there's so much of this infighting happening.
Yeah, man.
But no, I totally understand him. He's not even of your house's line.
Meister Kesimadas, Sir Mastas, and Drift Makot, Abrasma Bela.
So we don't even know what the king and everyone thought about their marriage.
Yeah.
Aegon ordered that the tree should be killed.
Felled. Don't expect you to learn High Valyrian in a day, Jace.
A king should honor the traditions of his forebears.
He means to call into question Luke's legitimacy.
Oh, she's finally gonna have a true Valerian kid, huh? A true Targaryen child. Does that kid end up being like the king or whatever? Like everyone else fails and dies?
I would say it's nice to be home, but I scarcely recognize it.
Your guests have arrived, Your Grace.
Kingsguard is so dope.
Yeah.
For his grandson, Lucerys, to succeed him as Lord of the Tides.
The Sea Snake has never formally named him as heir, if it comes to that.
We shall hear Princess Rhaenyra's petition along with those of the other claimants on the morrow.
No one can talk about the elephant in the room.
A matter has arisen that requires your attention. It's about the prince. There's been a delicate situation in his apartments.
And I'm really trying to get all these names straight with all these people. Still having a hard time with it.
Uh-huh.
Father?
Oh, man.
Help me up.
I'd rather die than live like this, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I know it sounds cruel to say because there are people who would be willing to extend the life of the person they love longer, you know? And some people who want to extend their life as long as possible, but personally, I agree with you. Struggling.
To decide upon the succession of Driftmark and the heir to the Driftwood throne, you are to affirm your position for Lucerys to be Corlys Velarion's successor.
Father, there's someone we wish to introduce you to.
This is Aegon, and this is Viserys.
That is a name fit for a king.
Oh, man. They did a really good job of making him look effed up, man.
Yeah. The makeup department did very, very well. Oh, what's he detecting?
I understand you found yourself in some trouble.
I was fetching the princess's wine, and I put it on his table, and I didn't see him. I asked him to stop, Your Grace.
Did he force her?
I believe you. You do? But what I worry about is what others might believe. They might think you're trying to besmirch the prince, or worse.
Sad.
Sheesh.
I wasn't dream of anything another word to anyone, Your Grace.
I know you won't.
She's gonna have her killed.
Yeah, for a second I thought like she was like gonna.
No, she won't do it. Oh, she's gonna pay her off.
For your troubles.
The tea, Your Grace.
No, she's gonna kill her. She's gonna poison her.
It's best to be certain.
Oh. Man, I can't figure this out. Is it poison, or is she just giving her the drink that Rhaenyra was given by the maester that one time?
Aegon!
Okay.
Get up!
Something happened.
It's just harmless fun.
How can you keep carrying on like this, especially on a day like today?
Why? What is it today?
Hit him again. Do Asian style. Take a belt or a club. Or a shoe.
I did not ask for this. I try so hard, but it will never be enough for you or father.
Both of them have kids with the same name now, right?
Yeah.
Both are Aegon.
Yeah.
I do not rule, as you well know. My father and I are mere stewards of the king's will and wisdom. King Viserys' condition has worsened since you saw him last.
The maesters, of course. It is they who keep him addled on milk of the poppy while the High Towers warm his throne. Which authority will sit in judgment of my son's claim on his own inheritance?
That would be mine. But be assured the father is just and commands me to forget the accusations you have held in this room today.
Man.
She got better at the game.
I'm starting to like her a little bit more. Hey, fellow watchers, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check us out on our Patreon. Links are in the description below. And now back to our program.
What's your problem?
Everyone's staring at us. No one would question me being heir to Driftmark if I look more like Sir Laenor Velaryon and Sir Harwin Strong.
I'm nervous.
Why does he look so much older than the other two?
Yeah.
We're winning tourneys in no time. I don't give a shit about tourneys. If you come to train.
Like, I know in the, before they're only like a few years apart, but now it looks like 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So there's Vaemon.
That little kid's the threat to his seat.
The realm has enjoyed a long peace, but the threat of war looms. Will you want a child at the command of the greatest fleet in Westeros?
The next Lord of the Tides will be deeply in your debt, Your Grace.
Princess.
What's up with that hair, dude?
I know. It looks so bad.
It looks pretty bad.
This is no fair proceeding. It is a trap.
Yet you did worse than that with Laenor.
I loved your son.
So I'm wondering, was she in on it for him to escape and not to actually be killed? Or does she think he's dead too?
No, I'm sure she knows.
Back Luke's claim and let us betroth Laena's children to mine.
A generous offer. Or a desperate one.
What does it matter?
It does not matter. Tomorrow the High Towers land their first blow. And I must stand alone.
She probably wants a Rhaenyra to win, but how can you support a woman who supposedly killed your son, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care what it would be. If I thought someone had killed my kid, I'm not on your side.
Yeah.
The Song of Ice and Fire, do you believe it to be true? I thought I wanted it. But the burden is a heavy one.
My only child.
Dude, he called her his only child. He forgot about his other kids.
Yeah, I mean, well, it said, they're giving him that, medicine with a poppy, so basically morphine.
I want to have supper, Otto. I want us to dine together.
Half his
Oh
arm
my
is
gosh.
missing. Oh, his whole back is.
We gather here with the grim task of dealing with the succession of Driftmark.
Yeah, this Iron Throne is so much cooler than what they had in Game of Thrones.
The history of our noble houses extends beyond the Seven Kingdoms to the days of old Valyria. I am Lord Corlys' closest kin, his own blood. What do you know of Valyrian blood, Princess? I place the continuation of the survival of my house and my line above all.
Yeah, because if they put Rhaenyra's kid, they would take both the throne and the seat of tides.
If I am to grace this fast with some answer, I will start by reminding the court that nearly 20 years ago in this very...
King Viserys of House Targaryen!
What judgment is he gonna make?
Right.
Which house he's gonna support? I mean, everyone would naturally think he's gonna support what's his name, Lucerys, right? Because that's his son.
Yeah.
It's like Phantom of the Opera.
He looks crazy.
Mm-hmm. So Daemon hasn't aged since the very beginning.
Right.
I will sit the throne today.
Your Grace.
But Corlys wanted Lucerys to take over.
That Driftmark pass through Selenor to his true-born son, Lucerys Velaryon. As a matter of fact, the Princess Rhaenyra has just informed me of her desire to marry her sons Jace and Luke to Lord Corlys's granddaughters.
I hereby reaffirm Prince Lucerys of House Velaryon is heir to Driftmark.
Okay, so who's gonna end up killing him?
Not allow it. That is no true Velaryon. You may run your house as you see fit, but you will not decide the future of mine.
This dude's crazy right now.
My house survives. I will not see it ended on the account of this.
This is really like he's going towards treason. Say it.
Yeah.
Say it. This bastard.
Her children are bastards!
Yes.
And she is a whore.
Damn, that's the next queen.
Mm-hmm.
Will have your tongue for that.
Oh! Whoa!
He can keep his tongue.
Disarm him!
Minnie.
Please, my love, you must take something for the pain.
I will not close my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That came out of nowhere.
Damon, man, that was gangster.
Well, I mean, he's very cunning, right? Everything to go his way.
He's just like, you just called my wife a whore. Whack!
Yeah, I don't think he even cares about that, you know? It's just someone who's now fighting and standing against them.
Oh.
Dang.
Oh, man.
Man.
That is pretty gruesome. You know what that reminds me of? Reminds me of Sweet Home.
Yeah, that dude, the half head. Oh man, you're right. I was like, something looks familiar about it.
It's crazy.
A toast to the young princess and their betrothed.
You can play the gesture if you wish, but hold your tongue before my betrothed.
That dude's married to his sister.
That's right. I was wondering who his wife was.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
I wish you to see me as I am. Let us no longer hold ill feelings in our hearts.
I wish to raise my cup to Her Grace the Queen. She has tended to him with unfailing devotion.
We are both mothers, and we love our children. We have more in common than we sometimes allow. I raise my cup to you and to your house.
To you and your family's good health, dear uncles.
They'll be married soon. It isn't so bad. Mostly he just ignores you.
He's just staring at him. Oh man, that pig looks good.
Final tribute. Jace, Luke, and Joffrey. Each of them handsome, wise, strong.
Amen.
Let us drain our cups to these 3 strong boys.
I dare you to say that again.
Why? It was only a compliment. Do you not think yourself strong?
I don't know why it took me a second to realize what he was saying. His play on words.
Before these people. I was merely expressing how proud I am of my family, Mother.
They look like they're the same age.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They made him look so old.
Yeah.
Like everyone went 6 years ahead, and he went 15 years ahead.
Let me see the children home. I'll return on Dragonback.
The king and I would both like that.
So now they're the only two who get along in the family.
Yeah.
Wise and strong.
Strong boys. At first I was like, why is he getting so mad at that? And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah. His name was Strong. Who's this girl?
That's the Damon's girl. The
That okay, I thought it might be, but I wasn't sure.
It's been quite a night at the castle, Sims.
Yes, lady.
So that's Alicent's like main girl, but she's like I guess selling information.
She's spying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want it to do? If I believe it to be true, Aegon, his dream, it is true. The prince.
Prince Aegon.
To unite the realm against the cold and the dark. It is you. You are the one.
So now she's got to fight for the throne?
I understand, my king.
Oh, no more.
Wow. Interesting episode. It kind of went from everyone against each other to Alicent and Rhaenyra kind of making up, but now you've got this bigger divide with all the children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Daemon takes out what's his name? Vaemond. So now you've got both the Targaryen family taking both, the tide and the crown.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't know about the crown yet, but it looks like it's gonna be that way. Man, so I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. A couple of questions. First of all, what would happen if Rhaenyra does become queen? What happens to Viserys' kids?
Viserys' kids?
Yeah,
well,
Alicent's kids.
So, I mean, I feel like, and I think, this is, essentially, there would probably be, like, half the kingdom would want, half the kingdom would want, Aegon to be king, right? Because he's the oldest male heir of Viserys, right? So they probably wouldn't want Rhaenyra to take the crown, so you'd have a divided kingdom. So the best thing then for Rhaenyra and her family, like Luke and Jace and Daemon, would be then to eliminate Aegon and Aemond and Helena, right? Um, so I think, especially for like Alicent, um, if like it ends up going to like a battle for succession, then you know she's gonna anticipate that if in order for Rhaenyra to kind of solidify her reign, she would have to get rid of Viserys's other kids. Does that make sense?
No,
Right?
I mean I understand that much, but I'm saying if things went according to plan with the succession, let's say there was no fight,
And no one
there was
questioned
no
it.
struggle, no one questioned it. Like, what happens to his kids? Because they're the son of the king, but because she's going to be the queen and then her heirs are going to take over, like, are they just given money and basically just live elsewhere?
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably that's what would happen, but
Right.
um,
Like yeah, they'd probably try to marry Aemon to some like like a large house who has like a single
yeah,
daughter, right?
a lot of
Yeah,
power
but
and
I
money and
wonder
influence.
what would happen to they'd probably give like a Helena and Aegon like a giant castle or something.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
maybe.
uh
Yeah, I mean, this episode, it was a lot slower. Obviously, we had a 6 year jump now, so now it's time again to new characters, exploring new things,
new
explaining new
actors,
things.
same characters, new actors.
Well, for me, it's new characters, right?
uh.
It's not even the same anymore. But yeah, so we got these new people now, these new actors who come in to play the older counterparts, and but it was still a good episode. I enjoyed it. Right, there's a lot that happened, a lot that they explained, a lot of confusion though, because again, I'm still not familiar with all these different names, so trying to keep track of everything was a little bit confusing. But otherwise, I enjoyed this episode too. Um, I'm I really enjoyed the discord they're showing between Alicent and Rhaenyra's kids, right? And that tension that's building up between them. So I'm very, because obviously Aemon is still upset about what happened to him,
right?
And so, and obviously he also feels that Rhaenyra's kids don't deserve the throne because they're not a Targaryen, or they're not full-blooded Valerians.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say for here. You want to add anything? Your thoughts?
No, I think this episode does a really like good job of kind of setting up the main storylines for the future, right? All the rivalries and stuff. Yeah. I was thinking one thing they really did a good job of in this was they made at least Aemon, despite his eye, like everything about his presence and his character is so kingly.
Yeah.
Right? He's like a badass, and he's
Yeah,
very kingly
compared to his brother, who is just like,
yeah, just
basically looks like a
weasel.
spoiled little weasel. That's exactly the word.
Right. Yeah, and he's a right, and then Rhaenyra's kids just look like they just like little kids, and with the
They look
hair,
like
they
wimps.
just don't fit.
They look weak.
Yeah, and they don't fit in that. Like, I mean, everyone else at that table had the Targaryen hair except for that. Right?
Well, I mean, it's about as noticeable as going to like a black family cookout, and there's like two white people standing there, right?
Right.
They stand out.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They absolutely stand out from the crowd.
Right. Yeah, and they're like smaller than everybody else. Like everybody towers over them. Yeah.
You could mistake them for Alicent's kids because of their dark hair.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think they did a really good job of kind of showing how obvious it is to everybody, but it's interesting that those kids are still very proud, and they really want to kind of, they want there, like you know, what's supposed to, you know, if they were true born you know, Targaryens, they want what's theirs. Like they want Driftmark and they want the throne, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, even knowing the truth, they still, for them, it's like, well, if they confess, you know, if they admit what they are, then they basically lose everything. They lose their honor
everything.
and pride, everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they lose.
they
Their
don't have a
names,
choice.
They lose everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
They become what is
pariahs.
What is the name of the people? Huh?
The name of the people.
You know how like. I'm sorry, like you know, in if you're a bastard of the North, then you're snow, right? If you're a bastard of Dorne, then you're sand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is the people who the bastards who grow up in King's Landing? I forget what they're called.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I just remember sand and snow.
Yeah, I think if you're from the Riverlands, then you're like rivers, right?
What was Robert's kids' names?
Man, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, like every region has like their own like there's like rivers, waters, snow, sand. I mean, there's 7. I'm not gonna remember the other thing, but there was one specifically for like Queen's or King's Landings bastards. I don't know. I guess if whoever's watching, if you guys remember that, just type it in the comments or whatever.
Yeah, if anyone knows in the comments, please let us know, because we're not remembering everything here.
Right.
What would those kids' names be, being bastards of King's Landing? Their family name, if you know, if it fell down, if it came down to that. Well, we've got 2 more episodes for the end of the first season. Viserys has died. They just clarified that here. So now this is, and at the end, right? He told Alicent, "You're the prophet, the foretold prince who's going to unite the kingdoms," and she said, "I'll do it." So now basically it means she's got to fight for the throne.
Right. Well, I think like you know, there's like there's a misunderstanding going on, right? Because he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra. Like, he was like, yeah, Rhaenyra. He said like like my love or my child or something, and I think she didn't hear that part. And then he says Aegon, right? Aegon's dream.
No, obviously, because this was also from the earlier episodes when he was talking to her about this, you know, the Song of Ice and Fire and whatever. So obviously he told, you know, but Alicent mistook it as what he's telling her, and now she's gonna fight for the throne. So they just made up.
Right.
They just got back on friendly terms, and now it's gonna turn into another bloodbath.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I hope it turns into a bloodbath.
I saw a meme, and he, you know, he says Aegon, and so she thinks, you know, like, oh, he means our son,
kid.
right? Yeah. And so then I saw a meme where people were saying like, oh, like all of this could have been avoided if the Targaryens just gave their kids original names.
Very much, yeah, very easily.
That's pretty funny,
man. But all right, well, we're gonna end it here. I've got my bag, a couple more bags of corn nuts I gotta enjoy. Friends brought it from America, so I'm really happy with those right now. But yeah, nothing much else to say. I'm really, I'm actually excited now, wanting to see how things pan out. Remember earlier, I just like wanted nothing to do with this show.
Yeah, it seemed like you were about to check out. Yeah.
Yeah. If I wasn't watching it for this channel, I would have stopped probably after like 3 or 4 episodes, right? And I wouldn't have continued on. So, so obviously that shows me how much I know about things. But yeah, so we're gonna end it here. Again, everyone on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. We do thank you for being here and watching along with us. You can check us out on our Patreon at patreon.com/watchingwhatever for our full-length reaction and commentary. For our Patreon viewers and subscribers, we thank you for being with us. For our supporters, we thank you very much for your support. Every little bit is going to help us to, keep continuing doing what we're doing and helping us to upgrade our equipment and stuff like that in the future. We'd love to be able to do that. So, but with that being said, we're going to end it here, and we'll see you on House of the Dragon episode 9. Bye.